Hello, Algebra 1. Welcome to day 16 of your AMI packet. We're going to be factoring some more today. It's going to be super exciting. We are going to factor whenever a is greater than 1. Now, on day 15, we also did this, but it was with a GCF. We had a greatest common factor that ran through it, and we could factor that out. We're going to do this today where you cannot find a GCF. Okay, so in my example here, I don't have a greatest common factor. There's just not one. So I'm going to have to do something called the AC method. And I have those steps down here about the steps we're going to follow in order to solve this. So my first one is to multiply A times C. So here's my A, here's my B, and here's my C. Okay, I'm going to multiply A times C. So 7 times 28, and that's 196, wherever you type that in your calculator. And since I'm moving this 7 down there with that 28, I'm going to be left with an x squared. My middle term stays the same, and my last one becomes that 196. Okay, so I've taken this 7, moved it down here and multiplied it to get 196, left with an x squared here, middle term stays the same. Once I have it like this, then I can start on step 2. I want the factors of C that add up to B. So what multiplies together to give me 196, but when I add those numbers together, I get 53. Okay? And this is kind of a hard one. It's because 196 has a lot of factors. So I'm going to show you a little trick. All right. I know that these are both going to start with x's, and it's going to be pluses because both of those are positive. But I'm going to look at 196, and I'm trying to get to 53. So I'm going to start at 53 and see if it'll go into 196, just on the off chance it's not, but you know, divided by 53. And I get about 3.7. So I can either start moving up a little or moving down a little. I'm going to 196 divided by, oh, say 54. Still not working. 196 divided by 55 doesn't even make sense, but let's try 56. Gives me 3.5. And I'm still getting decimals the further I go up. So I'm going to instead go down. I'm going to start at 53 and I'm going to go down to 52. Still getting decimals. Divided by 51, still getting decimals. I'm not even going to divide it by 50 because that doesn't even make sense. So 196, and I'm going to divide that by 49, and I get 4. Okay, so I found a couple of factors of 196. Turns out that 196 is 49 times 4. When I add those together, I get 53. Okay, so I know my factors are going to be 49 and 4. Okay, so now my last step is to divide those factors by the original A. My original A is 7, so I'm going to divide both of these factors by 7. However, I take 49 divided by 7, that divides evenly to be just 7. But over here, I can't take 4 and divide it by 7. It's just, well, I mean, it'll go, but not prettily. It's kind of an ugly decimal. So since it won't divide evenly, I'm going to take this 7 and I'm going to move it over here in front of this x. So now instead of just being an x, it's 7x. And that 4 stays there. Okay? So this is the AC method. Don't worry, we're going to do another one. So 6x squared, or is it plus 5x minus 6? Okay, here's my A, my B, and my C. Okay? Step 1, multiply A and C. So this times this, 6 times 6 is 36. Since I'm taking that 6 and moving it all the way down there, I'm just left with an x squared here. My 5x stays the same in the middle, and my new c is a 36. So now I'm going to look at factoring this. Okay? X squared factors to x's in both of those, and I'm going to look at the factors of c that add up to b. So let's look at my factors of c. Well, 36, 1 times 36, right? 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9. Yeah, that's right. And since this is a negative 36, I know that one of my factors has to be negative. So I'm going to look at these factors and I'm going to say, okay, if I were to take those factors, which one of them or which pair of them add up to 5? And it's this one right here, negative 4 times 9. If I take negative 4 plus 9, I get 5. So I'm going to put in minus 4 here and a plus 9 there. All right, so now my step 3, I'm going to divide my factors by my original A. My original A is 6. So divide by 6 and divide by 6. My mustache hurts. All right. Now, if I look at these, both of these simplify, right? When we're looking at fractions, we always want to look for simplification. And these two will simplify to x minus this 4 over 6. 2 will go into both of those numbers and give me 2 over 3. I'm going to need some more room. And 9 over 6 is also going to simplify because 3 will go into both of those. X plus 3 halves. Now I'm going to look at I can't divide these evenly. 2 will not divide by 3 evenly, and 3 won't divide by 2 evenly. So now I'm going to take this 3 and pull it out to the side, and this 2 and pull it out to the side to give me 3x minus 2 times 2x plus 3. And that ends up being my answer. Okay? So one last thing. I'm still going to follow my steps, but I'm not going to have them to refer to down there. Need to be wearing my glasses. 16b squared plus 60b minus 100. Okay, so here's where we kind of combine the last 2 days. Because if I look at these terms, there's a greatest common factor in all of them. Okay, 4 will go into all of them. And if you want to check that out on your calculator, you know, see if you have a greatest common factor, you'll see that 4, I can't type worth anything, is a factor of all of them. You can try other factors, but I can tell you right now it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna factor out a 4 before I do anything else. So that means I'm pulling a 4 from each of these terms. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 60 divided by 4 is 15. And 100 divided by 4 is 25. Once you pull that 4 out and these numbers get a little smaller, then you can start seeing that there's not another factor that you could pull back out. 5 will go into both of these, but that's just a 4, and so we can't do anything there. All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do my AC method. So I'm going to start off by multiplying A times C. So here's my A, my B, and my C. Okay, my 4 stays out here outside my parentheses. A times C is 100, so that 4 is getting moved down there. So B squared plus 15B minus 100. Okay? Now I'm going to look for factors. I'm looking for factors of 100, then when I add them together, I get 15. So I'm going to look at some factors of 100. Well, you have 1 times 100. Whoops. 2 times 50. That works. 3 won't. 4 times 25. 5 times 20. And since it's a negative, I know that one of my factors has to be negative. So negative 1 times 100 is 100. Negative 2 times 50 is negative 100. Negative 4 times 25 is negative 100. Negative 5 times 20 also gives me 100. But I'm looking for this number also right here that whenever I add them together, I get 15. So I don't have to go anywhere else. I know that it's negative 5 and 20. Negative 5 times 20, when you multiply them, get a negative 100. But whenever you add them together, you get 15. So I'm going to factor this into my 2 sets of parentheses. B and B minus 5 plus 20. So I factored this. Now I'm going to come back up here, and since I already have my 4 factored out, and I have to divide by my original A, I want to go back up to this second equation, or this second expression right here, where I've already factored out my 4, and my A is 4. So I'm going to divide my factors by 4. Okay? 5 divided by 4 does not go evenly, so I'm going to pull this out here to the side. 4b minus 5. However, I can divide 20 by 4 to get b plus 5. And there's your final answer.